welcome to another video. This is season 3, episode 3, and the final episode of how to fly the A220. And in this tutorial, we're gonna be covering how to cruise, descend, and land in the A220 in MSFS Flight Simulator. So now we've just about to hit cruising altitude, so we can set our cruising speed, which is between 250 knots and 260 knots, and then we can proceed with the cruising checklist. So if you if you put it out here and cruising, so seatbelt sign is off, checked. Seatbelt sign is off, flight conditions observed, entering ice conditions. We don't need that checklist now. Repeat, on, anti-ice is still set to auto or on. That's checked. So the checklist is complete. So what we do during cruise, we fill in the performance. So if we go down here to your FMS and you click on performance, and then if you go to approach, we need to perform the approach phase performance. Now, so we're going to be landing at Tallinn Airport, just for the sake of this tutorial. I'm not landing anywhere crazy, just like to make it simple for you guys. And you can check on Flight Radar or on this app called Flight, which is what pilots use under weather conditions. So right now I see here temperature is 14 degrees, so you can observe that. Wait a sec. Our wind is 210 degrees at 12 knots.
Baltic 872, contact Tallinn Center on 122.9er. Good day.
122.9er Baltic 872. Goodbye.
So in case you don't know how to tune, you should have a box over here. This is how you tune the centers. If you don't have a box there, then just click on this button. Then this is to like change the big numbers, and this is to change the small, the decimal. So it's 122. So we got 122 and then 0.9.
Finnair 122 Heavy, contact Tallinn Center on 122.9er. Good day.
And then we click this button to tune them, and then we can contact them.
Tallinn Center Baltic 872 flight level 230.
Okay, why is this AI guy?
Baltic 872 Tallinn Center radar contact continue.
So now we have the wind, and I don't know why, but I can never seem to find the QNH. I've checked everywhere and I can't find the
Tallinn Center Finnair 122 Heavy is passing flight level 385, climbing flight level 390.
There we go.
Finnair 122 Heavy Tallinn Center radar contact continue.
Frequency 1, alright. That's 27.07. Okay. So this is a rather short flight. As it like, I'm not flying anywhere crazy for this tutorial, just like so I can make it simple for you guys. But in later further videos, I'll be doing like some landing challenges and things like that, which will be fun. I'll also tell you a fact. So there's a rule in aviation: when you're above 35,000 feet, if there's no ice conditions, you need to have anti-ice off. But since this is a short flight and we're cruising at 23,000 feet, anti-ice can be auto. Yeah. If you don't know how to start up the plane, that's in one of my other videos. And if you want to learn how to taxi, take off and climb, it's in my previous video. So yeah. Also, when you're like passing, when you're passing 10,000 feet on ascent, what you do, you can then increase the speed, take the seatbelt sign off if there is no turbulence, then turn off the landing lights, turn on the cabin lights, and if necessary, turn on dome lights. Right now it's daytime, so it's not really that necessary for dome lights, you know, it can save electricity. But yeah. So later, soon, we'll be covering on how to descend, approach, and land, and I'll also put out the full flight. So if you have an iPad, you can use it as an EFB, and the app, it's full flight. That's what pilots use. It's like really good. You basically enter in your route and things like that, and yeah. So now see here.
Baltic 872 descend and maintain 17,000 feet.
Right, we're already descending.
Descend and maintain 17,000 feet, Baltic 872.
Right, so now that we're descending, we can set 17,000 feet on our altitude. That's what they told us to do. And the seatbelt sign and continue with descending checklist. So flight conditions observed. Landing data available. Seatbelt sign on, no smart sign on, and descending checklist complete. When we're passing 10,000 feet, we can go for reapproaching checklist. And before landing checklist, and landing checklist, obviously. So yeah, now we're descending. We can like leave the speed at 250 knots for now for a bit. So like we can get there quicker, but when we I'll give it to like maybe 15,000 feet, then we'll bring the speed down to 230 knots, then like 13,000 feet, then we select speed 190 and we can bring in flap 1. And also, I forgot, in the performance we have to put in our landing flaps, which for this landing on the A220 is usually, so we're going to be using full flaps for this landing because we have more tailwind, so I think full flaps would be best. If you have more headwind, that's the wind going against the plane.
Baltic 872, you are 64 miles south. Descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Expect vectors localizer runway 26 approach. Baltic 872 descend and maintain 2,200 feet.
We can
Descend and maintain 2,200 feet. Expect vectors localizer runway 26 approach Baltic 872.
Now if you're new to the A220, you might be wondering how do you do 2,200 feet, which only goes up in thousands. Well, first you go to like 2,000 nearer, then you turn this to the left, and then now you can go up in hundreds, so it's 2,200 feet. And since our selected altitude is now under 10,000 feet, we should bring the speed down. And we can also use the speed brakes to help with us a little bit. So yeah, when you have more tailwind, that's wind pushing the plane, then you'll be using full flaps for landing, because when you have more drag and you will have a smoother touchdown. If you have more tailwind, then flaps will also have less drag and you can go against that. Now for this landing, I don't really use I'm not going to use auto brake for this landing, just to keep the brakes cool. You either use it on low or medium, but I just do manual braking normally. Yeah, that's in the performance. But during takeoff, you always have auto brake to RTO reject the takeoff. During landing, you have it off if the runway is really long. At Tallinn Airport, it's fair. So, I prefer landing without auto brake, but when I use manual braking procedure, low or medium. High is like if you have like the really short runway, and yeah, I think that's the coast. Yeah, that's the coastline over there between Estonia and Finland. I think, yeah, and plus we can bring the speed down a little bit now, and we can use the speed brakes to help a little bit. Maybe 100%. And over here. And then now we can select lap 1. Now that's selected. And now we can continue on with the descent. So yeah, I'll go to teach you how to land. So when you land, there's this thing under the runaway lights called the puppy lights, and they have. So if you see the puppy lights, you've probably heard of them before, but if you haven't, then I'll explain what they are. So if there's 4 white, that means you should probably do a go around because you're too high, or increase the descent rate if you don't feel like go around for some reason, but you should. If it's 3 whites, 1 red, then you're a bit high, so you probably wouldn't have to do a go around, but just increase the descent rate 8. 2 whites, 2 red, you're perfect, try and stay there. 3 whites, 3 reds, 1 white, you're a bit too low. You should probably maintain altitude a bit, and then yeah. And 4 red means you're way too low, so you probably have to do a go around. Or just like, you know, yeah. And you want to keep the glide slope about 3 degrees and about 20-ish feet. You want to, maybe even 10 feet, you want to flare the plane so then the nose up, and bring the throttle to idle so you lose the power, and then your plane kind of slows down and helps touch down. Now in real life, in the A220 you can arm the spoilers, but in the game for some reason you can't, which is a bit annoying, so I put them out manually, because on my side stick there's a bunch of buttons, and yeah, I just use that for the spoiler, because it's like quicker, because they come out as soon as you touch down, and then yeah, you can use reverse thrust. And when we're going under 10,000 feet, we can advise cabin crew of that we're going to land soon. Turn on landing lights, turn off cabin lights, turn off dome lights if they're on. Let's select speed 175 knots and start flap 2, and then continue on with the approaching checklist. And I don't have to run away in sight for now so far. It's about over there. It's actually easier at night time to see the runway, because obviously you have the runaway lights as well. And when you're on to final approach, so Tallinn Airport, you can look on airport roads right now at 10,000 feet. For runway 26, runway heading is 262 degrees right. Now we can turn on landing lights towards the cabin crew. Turn off cabin lights in, but it makes no difference because it's daytime. Then speed to 175. We can select flap 2 and the approaching checklist, because we're now approaching. So altimeters set for now. Pressurization is checked. External lights on. Sweet. Don't see the runaway yet. Oh wait, I think. Can't see the runaway so far yet. Oh wait, so soon. And since we have a bit of a high descent rate, we can use the speed brakes so we don't go too fast. So now we're going very fast. Oh, it's a bit shaky. Nice. So yeah, got some beautiful views here. this is also the approach mode button, so that's when you're on final approach, you click that button, it continues to descent rate. Adjust you with the runaway once you do your final checks for landing, and then you disconnect the autopilot and auto throttle. Usually auto throttle.
Pull on 785
I do
heavy,
auto
you are
throttle.
63 miles
I do
south.
autopilot, auto throttle.
Descend and maintain 11,000
Sometimes it
feet.
is
Expect
auto
vectors
throttle.
localizer runway 26 approach.
And when I
Pull on
disconnect the
785
autopilot,
heavy, you are
you'll
61
hear
miles
this
south. Descend and
beeping
maintain
sound
11,000 feet.
and alarm
Expect
sound.
vectors localizer runway
That's
26
like the
approach.
pilots when the autopilot is disconnected. So we have 10 knots of wind, so it's not too much, just a little windy. Nothing the plane can't handle. It can handle anything. And we can now so we can select lap 3 now. And let's go with the before landing checklist. Now before landing and positive lap 3 set landing gear is not down yet. We don't need it down for now. That's right. We have a bit of turbulence, as you can see here, so we'll lighten that out. What's this descent rate? It's insane. Wait, I'll change it. No. Go. So yeah, now with VATSIM. In real life, when you have the terrain display on, it will always be showing, but in the game, for some reason, when you're passing 4,000 feet, it goes on. So now we can get rid of the waypoint wings, and now we can see our route kind of more clearly with the terrain display on. Because see the lakes and the wind terrain. I'll turn on weather display for now. And no significant special weather. It's really shaky. I might disconnect the autopilot a bit early. I mean, not now, but like as soon as we turn onto one approach. That's what I normally do.
Landing gear. Landing
No,
gear.
it's just gonna start
Landing
to
gear.
reduce.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Normally, we put the gear down on the final approach or we're turning onto one.
Landing gear.
See the passenger views. Now we're 2,200 feet.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
So this thing.
Landing gear.
I mean, I'm not gonna bring the gear down now because that will create like, way too much drag. It's used obviously
Landing gear.
for the wheels,
Landing gear.
but like also to reduce the approach speed of the aircraft.
Baltic 872, you are 18 miles south of Tallinn.
Let's go.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Contact Tallinn Tower on 135.905.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Tower on 135.905 Baltic 872.
And let's go ahead and contact.
Tallinn Tower Baltic 87217 miles southeast inbound localizer runway 26 approach.
Landing gear.
Baltic 872 Tallinn Tower. Altimeter 29.905, wind 201 at 13. Cleared localizer, runway 26 approach.
Cleared localizer runway 26 approach Baltic 872.
Do we have a bit of turbulence on the arrival?
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Is that the runaway? Is that the airport? I can't see the
Landing
runaway
gear.
yet.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Well, I think I see the lights maybe, I'm not sure. Switch it. It's now approaching
Landing
really
gear.
low.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
I know. I just...
Landing gear.
Okay, so we have a bit of turbulence. Normally you would tell the passengers about
Landing
that.
gear.
Use
Landing
speed
gear.
brakes to like
Landing gear.
even out the turbulence, you know. It helps.
Landing gear.
Right now.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Don't put too much drag.
Landing gear.
Oh, you know,
Landing
since I'm gonna disconnect the autopilot,
Landing
Charlie,
gear.
I'll go through the landing checklist now. Altitude over ground, autopilot will be disconnected very shortly. When we're turning on to final approach, I'll disconnect the autopilot. Where's the runaway? I still don't see the runaway. Stable. At
Landing
night
gear.
time it's beautiful here.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
When returning on to final approach, I'll reduce speed to 140 knots and select it flaps 4 gear down to ask cabin crew and disconnect the autopilot and auto throttle.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
And you want to make sure you're on a good glide slope. When the plane goes out 1000, just want to stay stabilized. I mean, if you are stabilized and when you continue.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Still don't see the runway yet. Oh, I see the runway lights over there, as you can see. Well, I'm not sure if you can see. There was a runway lights. Where my mouse is circling about. I think it's the runway, yeah. I'm gonna just
Landing gear. Landing gear.
beach now.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
We'll reduce it to 150 knots per hour.
Landing gear.
Um,
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Do you want to make sure the plane is stable, have as the runaway? 140 knots.
Landing gear. 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 Landing gear.
T60.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Disconnect. Now we'll just advise cabin crew. And now we're a bit off center line, so obviously I'm gonna adjust that. Probably not gonna be talking for the landing, as I'm gonna be focusing on bringing the plane down safely. But enjoy the landing and to take notes as well. your speed, about 140 knots. Can turn to the left a bit now. So we obviously have a bit of wind, in case you haven't already noticed somehow. And go a bit low. Now we're aligned on the center line. Let's just zoom in on the map range a little bit. And we should go to the left.
Baltic 872, wind 201 at 1 tree. Clear to land runway 26.
Clear to land runway 26 Baltic 872.
Stable. Now we're clear to land. Yay. To right a bit. We need to go a little bit to the right. There we go. So far we're looking good. Bit low. What's about
400.
trapped? Oh, stable, 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 shaking.
300. 200.
Minimums. Minimums.
Continue
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Spoilers and us. Green check. And I go to range 1. And with us idle. Now here we go, nice high speed exit. Oh wait, what's the rod not working? The rod here isn't charging.
Baltic 872, exit runway when able.
Lights and strobe lights off. And
Baltic 872, contact ground on 135.905.
Going to 135.905 Baltic 872.
ground. So now we need to contact ground. Request taxi.
Tallinn ground Baltic 872, request taxi to parking.
Baltic 872, taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha.
And go from the flaps.
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Alpha Baltic 872.
I prefer, like, with at Tallinn Airport, runway 8, I prefer the approach, like, I can't go over the Mr. Lake and things, but, I did, like, airport layout, taxiing procedure, I prefer runway 26 because you got like the nice high-speed exit and a bit shorter taxi to the apron, and it's more smooth, you know. I mean, I like both equally. It's just what I like. I'm gonna park at one of those gates over there, the jet bridge. But I'll teach you what to do, like when you get to the gate. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, more Microsoft Flight Simulator content. I don't know what this blue light's doing right there. I mean, sorry. Not gonna park at that one. Wait, let me see. I'll just stop the plane for now. Alright, I'm parking at that one. Not that one, but not the one on the right, but the one after this next one. I mean, in real life, you don't get to decide. I mean, they just give you the thing. Microsoft Flight Simulator, they just told me to taxi to the apron, where taxiway Alpha, so I get to pick my gate. And turn a bit. I like in the A220 there with this compass over here. It's like a nice little touch feature. And normally you'd have a now we can set parking brake, then turn off engine 1 and engine 2, and turn off beacon lights, turn on wing lights, turn off seatbelt sign, turn off taxi lights. We can then start the external power and start the APU as well. That was a nice flight. And when the APU, oh, I forgot. When you're taxiing, you have to do like this. And when our AP is at 100%, we can turn on bleed. We not got ground services. Wait. Oh, go on, let's go.
Tallinn Ground Baltic 872, could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
Baltic 872, we can't connect the jetway to the aircraft. Please retry later.
And we can also turn off the hydraulic pumps. And what was that? And yes, so guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. I tried to make it as clear as possible for you guys. And please subscribe for more Microsoft Flight Simulator videos. Thank you.